game too?
Yeah, I might go through grapefruit here.
All right.
Yeah, you boys go and get started. I'm going to take a bathroom break, too, real quick.
Damn.
That
that's
was
30 minutes.
That was something.
Yeah, that wasn't just something we could not watch.
Oh no, yeah,
There's
no,
no fucking
yeah.
way.
Yeah, no, I'll be canceling my Paramount Plus right after this. Don't worry. Damn, dude. All right, I gotta stop saying damn, dude. Oh, that's a tasty beverage. It is not bad. Sun sips, they call
Sun sips.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
You know, I told him. I said, you guys got to get a touchdown. You know what happened? Got a touchdown. I said it again. I said it again the second time. I said,
Russ is actually talking to them right now.
Yeah, I actually hacked their helmets, and this whole feed's been going into them. Damn, what if it's a rematch of
San Francisco and Kansas City?
Dang.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not gonna happen. I don't.
You think your boy's gonna get him?
I don't think that. I don't think that LA is gonna lose to San Francisco. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna get after that. That's hard to say. Like, oh no, Joe Burrow is gonna win.
Yeah, dude. I think there's no predicting any of that. That was
but at the same time, it's like, it's what Joe Burrow is doing in the NFL right now, and what Jamar Chase is doing, like the number one wide receiver. Mm-hmm. What they're doing is very, very, very fucking hard. It's like, okay, it's the way that the Chiefs built their team now. Mm-hmm. They get a good quarterback. They have Tyreek Hill. You know, they have CJ Uzma, which is their tight end, is starting to kind of, grow as a tight end in Cincinnati. Now, the only thing is the difference between the Chiefs and the Bengals is the Bengals don't have the offensive line. Joe Burrow got hit, I think, 11 times versus the Titans and still won the game. He had almost 300 yards in the first half against the Tennessee Titans, which are the number one seed in the AFC.
I mean, it's nothing big.
What?
Ain't nothing. Yeah, whatever. But, college boy.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's going to be a hell of a game between them two as well.
Yeah, and this is actually pretty exciting playoffs.
Yeah, so
it's whoever. Whoever Goodell decides.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I think it'll be LA versus the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs make it.
But
3
my
years in a row.
hopes are that it's LA versus the Bengals, just because of what I told you guys.
Yeah, LSU. Yeah, right.
Joe
but
Burrow.
there's a couple good guys from the Chiefs that went to LSU, so you got to.
Tyrann Mathieu's not playing because he got a concussion today, so he ain't gonna play next week. He did. He wasn't even in.
Did he?
Tell us, Russ. Did he?
Had the results come in?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Point proven.
I digress.
It's like CEH,
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't even know he's back. Like he just kind of popped in.
Yeah.
He's always getting hurt.
He was zooming today, though.
He was zooming.
He was fucking running for his
life.
He's
a whirling dervish. He's a real power player.
Dude,
like
both those
3.5
games
feet tall.
Both the games this afternoon
it's
were
wild.
fucking
And
insane.
he can just freight trains through people.
He's built like a bean.
He is built like a bean.
Dude, that Tampa game was like an incredible comeback. Down to the last minute of like, Tom Brady. You kept thinking like, Tom Brady's going to come back.
Brady did it again.
Yeah.
Dude,
like that was
Tom Brady motherfucking did it again.
Yeah.
Like it was that whole entire thing, and then they won by a field goal.
I mean, that's
the Rams did.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you know how pissed Tom Brady must be to have lost by a field goal?
Yeah.
Like some nerd kicker.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to go home and cry with 6 rings on his fingers.
I don't think he'll be as mad as he was whenever he lost to us during like one of the last games of the season.
Right, yeah.
Because we shut them out, like 0 points. And he threw a fucking Microsoft tablet. Did you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know Microsoft got a hold of him for that? They made him pay for it.
For the tablet?
Dude, Microsoft? Not even the team?
Wow. No, Microsoft literally messaged him and said, we need you to pay for...
Honestly, that's kind of ballsy on Microsoft's part to make Tom Brady, who has millions upon millions of dollars, who you want on your side, to be like, yours $250.
Yeah.
You got to pay for that thing.
Dumb.
You got to pay for that Surface.
Yeah.
They made him pay for it.
It's pretty ballsy.
Yeah. Dude, give him a signed game ball and you can make 8 times what that fucking thing was worth. Even the ones he lost.
That's some shit he would do too. He'd just be like, dude, I'll give you guys this game ball.
Dude, well, remember he got that game ball or like his touchdown pass and gave the guy
Mike
a
Evans.
Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Wild.
Well, he also the thing happened with Mike Evans like earlier in the year.
Who's Mike Evans?
The wide receiver for the
ball player?
Buccaneers. Yeah. That was
Baseball.
Tom Brady's, I think, 500th touchdown or something like that. I can't remember.
How did he get a hold of it?
Well, it was to Mike Evans, and then Mike Evans jumped up and gave it to a fan, and they had to the fan took it, and then they realized, fuck, that's Tom Brady's or no, that's when he broke Drew Brees' record. That's what it was.
Oh,
so it was
okay, all right.
Whatever the touchdown record was that Drew Brees had, he broke the record, and then Mike Evans gave it to a fan because he didn't realize that's what happened. So they had.
Yeah, and how could
Yeah,
wait. So they took it back from the fan?
Yeah, they took it back from the fan because it's
history.
career-breaking.
Did you ever see anything? Did they throw the fan anything?
They endorsed him about a quarter of what that ball is probably worth.
So this is separate from the Bitcoin.
They gave
issue.
him I think they gave him $250,000, another game ball, Tom Brady's cleats, Mike Evans cleats.
So you're saying that
all
thing was worth $1 million?
They gave
It
him
was
$250 and
it
deflated Patriots ball.
Yeah, it's probably worth more than $1 million.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking up the history on, because I was just reminiscing on old good times when I didn't understand shit. Mark McGuire's home run, his last one, and all this shit, and people who sold it and all that, the whole Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire thing.
Oh yeah.
Watching the videos on that, I was so enthralled by watching that, the race to break the record.
Yeah. And we talked about it before too, but it was. I remember exactly where I was. It was like a 9/11.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was incredible when he did that.
Me and my brother went as Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa for Halloween one year.
You know what?
Robert did blackface, not me.
Well, the funny thing is, back in the day, it would be offensive because you'd have to go with Sammy Sosa's blackface, but you could dress up as Sammy Sosa today and not do anything, and you'd be him.
Right. But would it be offensive as a white man doing whiteface?
I don't know.
Sammy Sosa? These are the hard-hitting facts we try and get on the show.
Is there any way you could pull up a Sammy Sosa picture on here right now? If not, it's okay.
I think we've
He's
done.
white as shit now.
Oh, he's
We
terrible.
pulled that
In
up
his
already.
pimp suit?
Yeah.
And his
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah,
pink
we
pin-
pulled
yeah,
that up.
it's
We had this whole
incredible.
conversation. I actually stole it from you because you were like, I love to talk
okay.
about podcast, talk about Sammy Sosa. And then I came that night and did talk
Okay.
about Sammy
Well,
Sosa. being
sorry, I
white.
thought I was being fresh then.
No, not that fresh. Not as fresh as that game we just watched.
Yeah.
Dude, is Mark McGuire still in the game? Is he still
Well,
He
coaching
was
or
a
something?
coach for the Cardinals for a long time.
He's not
but
anymore. That
no,
motherfucker's
he's.
retired. He's
Well,
like
then
90.
he
Gone.
switched to someone else, I feel like the Dodgers or something.
I think he left after the Cardinals because he was like a hitting coach for the Cardinals for
Yeah.
a couple years, and that was sort of it. But
He's
that
real
would have
big there.
really sucked because that Babe Ruth's record stood for what, 60 years,
Long time.
and he had it for 3 or 4.
Well, dude, McGuire
What a
was so roided up that it was insane.
They all were.
Oh yeah, everybody,
but- oh,
everybody.
and I don't really give a shit.
I don't either. It makes it more interesting to me.
And quite honestly,
You know?
from what I hear from sports people, is it saved baseball. I don't know.
I mean, fuck, look at
Maybe
people
making
like
that up. Don't
Lance
know.
Armstrong too. It's busting records. It's a new age. I would just be everyone can do whatever they want. Let everyone do steroids, and let's see how
Eventually,
far
someone's
going
going to push it too far and
Yeah.
do something dumb, and then they're excluded.
Yeah, let's see how far we can go with it.
Do you remember the old pictures like the Tour de France when the guys were smoking cigarettes? Dude, it just all of a
No
sudden
rules.
this guy, yeah. Dude, but it was just like the football we were talking earlier, like the guys on the sidelines, puffing.
Well, dude, when I was
sticks,
watching the
ripping
videos
butts.
of I was on YouTube watching the Mark McGuire Sosa days. There was one that I watched where McGuire was on Letterman one night, and he came on Letterman and
Is he pissed off?
oh no, he was great. He was great, but just the way Mark McGuire looks is he in real life, he should have been probably a 130-pound little ginger guy. You can just tell. You can tell. But he was bigger than anyone I've ever seen sitting there next to Letterman, just so confident too, fuck yeah, this is, I got this. And he did. And it was holy shit. Dude, he looked insanely
Yeah.
big, just overly big. It was nuts.
Dude, speaking of fucking freakishly buff people. Did you guys watch that fight last night?
Wait. Go back and just
not.
Throw the video on with no sound. It's fine. What fight was it?
Njoku?
Francis Ngannou.
Ngannou, whatever.
What was it, like UFC or?
Yeah. It was for the heavyweight title.
Somebody break their leg again?
No,
Christmas.
dude. You want to talk about fucking freaks of nature? Okay. Watching
Is that
those
the
two people, watching those two people fight each other.
Ngannou is his name.
Ngannou.
Yeah.
The dude that he was fighting literally had Ngannou's ankle in a full fucking, like, I'm going to break it. And Ngannou, like, wasn't even trying to defend it. Like, I was like, this dude's going to snap his fucking ankle completely in half. I mean, he was twisting.
He wasn't even phased?
He was twisting the motherfucker, and Ngannou's just sitting there like, let go of my leg.
Yeah.
Like,
that's almost like mental games.
Dude, that
I don't know
badass.
how the fuck. Because you could see it in the fucking fight. You could literally see the dude is literally trying to break it in half. And Ngannou's just sitting there like,
it does not phase me.
Are you done yet? I drink my calcium. Okay? I drink my calcium.
Apparently, if I'm thinking of the right guy, go ahead. Finish
He fucking got up. And then he ended up winning the fight.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. And he just tore his fucking ACL too.
During the fight?
No.
Or before it?
Like a little bit before it.
So the guy didn't do anything to him that fucked him up and he still won?
Yeah.
Well, he's fucking up the wrong part of his leg. He's been messing with his ACL. That's what he should have been doing.
Pulling those motherfuckers, pulling that shit out. Fuck you. Like, dude, it was insane watching them fight each other.
If I'm thinking of the right guy, and I don't know really any of these guys, it's similar to talking about football. I don't know anything about it, but I think that he was, because he's from Africa, and he was exiled to the desert and found his way, like was dehydrated, like dead basically when they found him, and was able to crawl his way to safety. And then from that point on, from being exiled from his home country,
he crawled his way right to Dana's hotel.
please. And apparently he got out. But that makes
insane.
sense because he's that's nothing to him.
He's built different.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Like if that was any of our ankles, that shit would have been full 360.
We were talking about
100%.
this earlier with the football. Like, it's like I couldn't even be a kicker because I don't know if I could easily make the jog out to center field.
Dude, just that story.
Son of a bitch.
Now I gotta kick the goddamn thing.
Dude, if that story is fucking real, that he crawled his way out of a desert. Like, if I had never really known anything about this guy, and I was an actual fighter, and like they started announcing this when I was coming into the ring, I'd go, uh-oh. Like, wait a second. Wait, what?
The Kenyan killer.
He crawled his way out of the Sahara Desert. Huh?
Dude, yeah.
Have you seen how big this motherfucker is?
No, I don't know this guy.
Dude, Jesus Lord, man.
Yeah, I want to see him.
He's a fucking freak of nature. He's 6'4", 250 pounds.
Francis, how do you say his last name? Ngannou or something?
Yeah, Ngannou.
Oh, yeah. No.
He's a fucking freak of nature.
Yeah, I don't want to go. Hey, Russ, that one right there with the belt on the very
look
right.
how big he is.
Very, very, very right. Go
This
down
one?
one more. Yeah, let me see that one. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Dude's built different, man.
Sir. Sir, please don't.
Sir, I just dropped my phone and you crushed it. Could you lift your foot up, please?
I'll pay for it. You didn't do anything wrong here.
Yeah.
Would you like to sleep with my girlfriend tonight?
If not, that's totally cool. But if you did, that's also totally cool.
She is pretty ugly.
She's bigger. I know you guys.
She's very large.
Damn, yeah. Look at that. That's a big feller. So that was the heavyweight.
So
Yeah.
you like
Aries
watching
next to,
some like
Dana
UFC, Taylor?
Not that much anymore. I was very, very into it.
Have you-
when it first got big?
Have you kind of like at least halfway kept up with like this Jake Paul boxing?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that? I'd like to hear.
It's fucking rigged. It's literally rigged.
Really?
Not on this show. You don't say that on this show.
It is rigged.
You're pissing me off.
Fuck Jake Paul.
All right, it's over.
Like
Jake Paul
that
is
fight
God.
between him and Tyron Woodley, the second one, the last one they just did, 100% rigged.
He's
And people
because of
pointed
the-
out
you think
because he
because of the
fucking
shake?
like he told me he was about to hit him, and then he all of a sudden took his fist like this
brought
as
it
a
down.
block, and then brought it down as soon as Jake was about to throw a punch.
Can you pull up the knockout clip?
It's 100% rigged.
Let's see it.
Because no matter what, those people both made millions of dollars for that fight.
Oh yeah, they did.
Who fucking cares if you get knocked out real quick? I'll get knocked the fuck out for $1 million. You want me to fucking go down like that? I'll do it.
Well,
I'll do it.
I think the thing
Yeah.
is,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is
100%. I'd
this
fucking
is
do
a
it. Tyron Woodley hadn't even been talked about for fucking how many years? I've never even heard of the dude before they fought. Like, honestly, I know he was in the UFC and shit like that, but that motherfucker didn't mean shit in the UFC. That's why he's not in there anymore. Like,
Right, yeah. And he gets,
dude,
he has
and
a
then all of a
chance to
sudden
make
he
some
starts
money.
making fucking millions of dollars. He's made millions of dollars twice fighting
Dude,
Jake
wasn't
Paul.
he supposed to fight someone else and they backed out last second and then
Yeah.
this guy oozed in?
Well, because he knocked him out before. He knocked him
That's
out
what I
one
was
time
wondering.
before.
Yeah. He won his rematch. Let's see here. Let me just find a quick one.
No, and I respect the opinion of you saying it's rigged. Respectfully, I disagree. I don't think it's rigged because people hate Jake Paul. Like, I fucking think Jake Paul is a douchebag. He is a fucking douchebag. Everyone wants to fucking knock him out and be like, I knocked this little fucker out. And I
and that's the
realize
thing,
that.
too, is like-
but they're not, because Jake Paul is actually training and somehow he's actually fucking
Which
fighting
is fine,
and winning.
but you have to understand too. Boxing is, in my opinion, boxing is dead. It is.
But
boxing is dead.
But this guy's bringing it back.
He's bringing it back because it's a show now.
Right. Yeah,
That's
that's an
it.
interesting point.
He's bringing it back because it's a show now. You have this YouTube dude, and Logan technically is the one that brought it back.
Okay, well, you know,
Logan's the one that brought it back because he fought Floyd fucking Mayweather.
the show that I
He
think
brought that back.
the show that I think was fucking rigged was fucking Tyson and who the fuck is it? The other retired guy. The two fucking
Tyson and
Jones.
Jones.
yeah, Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, that's the
that was fucking. I feel like that was rigged because neither of them fucking went hard at each other.
But they're
at
also
all.
60.
Exactly.
So-
well, no,
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
and
it's
that's the
exhibition
thing.
matches,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fucking
no,
exhibition.
yeah, and I think it was just bullshit because
But that's the thing too, is like even with the Logan Paul fight, like honestly, dude, let's be real fucking honest here. How long ago was it whenever Manny Pacquiao and Floyd fought last time?
Dude,
4 or 5 years ago?
you might have been at my house for that. I had a quick
was at your
watch
house.
party.
No, I was at Kwong's. No, I was at your house. But that's one of those things where, okay, that was 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. And Floyd was at the top of his game. He beat Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was at the top of his fucking game. So you can't tell me within 4 or 5 years that all of a sudden Floyd Mayweather couldn't even knock Logan Paul down.
But Manny Pacquiao
That is
a
bullshit.
tiny little.
A professional boxer that's been boxing for 30 fucking years.
dancer's what he is.
Yeah, no, he's a little tiny guy. I mean, it's literally he could hold his head like this and have him go like.
You could do the same thing with Floyd. Floyd and Manny Pacquiao were barely. I mean, their size difference is barely any
I
different.
remember I had a great joke.
But Logan
right
Paul
after
was
that
like
fight.
100 pounds heavier than he was.
Bring it to the knockout. I want to see the knockout.
Yeah, it's right here.
The knockout's bullshit because you can literally see him do this, and then Tyron literally drops his arm as soon as he's doing it.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see the knockout.
You cannot
right here.
tell me this is not rigged.
I just don't think that's fake. I don't think that's fake at
I could
all.
3,000% do that for however much money they made.
Well, sure, but your fucking career.
I would have dropped my hands.
Like,
I would have dropped my hands earlier. I mean, let's be honest here.
All right, so his hand's right there.
And then he drops it.
Well,
When
I mean,
he
that
knows-
was pretty quick though.
When he knows, but look at the way his body gestures. You know he's taking a right. Why would you drop the right? Watch.
I think it was just
he's
a-
leaned.
dude, because both of them have been fighting 6 rounds. They're tired
You're
out.
not
They're fucking
swinging.
going for each other.
You're not swinging with your left, right? I mean, be smart here.
Yeah,
You're not
hold
swinging
on.
with your left. Why would you drop your right arm when you know he's coming with the right? You
Dude.
can see it like this.
Dude, you're worn out. You're fighting. You're not thinking. You've been going
Now,
at this like
let
this
me
is
ask you
all
this, 'cause,
energy.
Again, I don't know. Woodley, was he a UFC fighter or a boxer?
He's a
UFC.
UFC fighter.
Okay.
UFC.
So, is there a chance he's just a bad boxer?
Yes,
both
because
bad boxers.
because Jake Paul fucking already beat him one time.
They're both bad boxers. Let's be honest.
All right, let's watch this here, frame by frame. I think his hand was too far out
I mean, dude, that is a
because
real
it
knockout.
didn't really drop that much.
Like
Oh, he dropped it.
dude.
Look,
I
Yeah.
couldn't.
It was here and now it's here.
I couldn't.
Right
I,
whenever he swung it.
I couldn't act getting knocked out like this. I couldn't act that.
Oh, I'm
well.
sure he actually got knocked
so
out.
that's the thing.
Oh, I bet he got knocked out.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
it's like knock me out for real and make me look like a bitch. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, it's the payday.
It's literally a payday.
All right, hands right
Hand
there.
is fully up, knowing that right arm's coming.
All right.
And then he drops it completely.
I mean, it's so fucking quick, man. It's so quick. Yeah, bring it back. Let's see it in full right here.
It is a straight shot, though.
Yeah.
It's pretty straight. No, I mean, I'm agreeing with you because it's
It literally was here. You know, he leans down like this to throw a fucking punch. You're not dropping your right arm. If he had his arm still where it was, there's no way he would have been knocked out.
I like this. The way he's splayed out there.
You know what?
He's seeing birdies.
I do respect your opinion though, because me personally, I'm excited to see. Again, I think Jake Paul's a douchebag. He really is. He built his entire career off being a fucking asshole douchebag.
Isn't he claiming that he's done fighting?
No, he's not.
No, he's
not.
already calling out other people.
Yeah,
he's already calling out other people.
Bitching
So-
about CTE and shit.
And I think what he's doing, like, and again, respectfully disagree. I'm excited to see what he keeps doing because I think that Jake Paul is actually a real fucking fighter, and I think he's pissing people off, and he's actually going to keep beating people, and he's actually going to be a fucking fighter.
Okay,
I think he
now
will be.
Now let me say this. What you are acting like right now is exactly what that boxing world wants right now. Is for someone to be
Interesting.
excited.
So there's some sort of boxing
because, like I
conspiracy.
said, boxing is dead.
It is.
Boxing died when
Who makes
Floyd
money-
and Manny Pacquiao fought for the last time.
And I
because
suppose-
look what happened.
I
after
think
that.
it died before
Look
that.
I do too. But that was the last big fight, in my opinion. Now look what happened since then. Who fought Floyd Mayweather after that?
Conor McGregor.
Conor fucking McGregor.
Boo.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's when you knew that boxing was dead.
Yeah.
You have an MMA fighter coming over to fight the fucking undefeated champion. That's when you knew boxing was dead. But at the same time, why did they do that? Why did they do that? Because Conor McGregor was the most notorious fucking fighter at that moment in the UFC.
Well, it's going to be
so
the
they
highest
knew
bill.
that fucking that pay-per-view was going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
Sure,
From UFC people and from people that that like boxing.
Yeah.
Now,
So then that happened, right?
let me ask you that. Yeah,
and then
yeah,
Floyd was like, "Fuck that! I'm not coming out of retirement. I'm done." And then all of a sudden, you get fucking Logan Paul. Logan Paul
Yeah.
But again, it's payday.
fighting Floyd. It's a fucking payday, dude. But that's the same thing. You can like if you go back before I'd say before the Conor McGregor fight. Go back to the Manny Pacquiao. So like if you
Mayweather,
go
Conor McGregor.
yeah.
Okay.
If you go back to that and you look at how much that pay-per-view sold, you can do it. See how much the pay-per-view sold with McGregor and Mayweather. Because this is, I guarantee you that the Logan Paul fight sold more than that one did.
The fight generated 4.3 million domestic pay-per-view buys.
Okay, 4.3 million.
Second of all time. All right.
So go to Logan Paul and Mayweather.
And while he's doing this, everything you're saying, I completely agree with you saying boxing was dead.
Disagree. Damn it.
Boxing was dead and all that shit. And even though you think personally that it is rigged up right now, I do agree with the point that this is giving boxing, and it probably on one side or the other, it is blowing it up to where
It is,
more
100%.
people, more people are watching, and they want the money and all that, 100%.
Boxing was dead, and
Yeah.
and I mean people that are actually boxing for a living, like I mean, look at the who's like the light heavyweight champion right now, the mixed dude, whatever his name is, that bad motherfucker.
Canelo?
That dude's a gangster. Yeah, that dude. He's actually boxing for a living.
I can't
So
believe-
it's one of those things where it's like he's legitimately boxing for a living,
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
that at the same time, you can't tell me now that people, the Logan Paul thing happened, Conor McGregor thing happened. Now that dude is actually a boxer, right? So before, I guarantee you, his views on on pay-per-view and things like that weren't that high. Well, now since they did this thing where it's like we're gonna have a bunch of random fucking people in a boxing match fighting some of the biggest names in history.
Celebrities and shit.
So now I guarantee you Canelo is making
Bumping up
15 times the amount that he was making before all this shit happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So and it's just
all
because it's
numbers.
like it gave boxing life again.
Yeah.
It gave it life again. Because me personally, man, I'll tell you the truth. I love watching people get knocked the fuck out. So even if that was rigged, I'm not going to say I wasted my time watching it. No, he got knocked the fuck out. That's great. But you can,
So I mean, bottom line, even on your side of saying like it's rigged and shit like that, like, do you think it's
Entertaining?
a good thing? It's a good thing
watching
because
people get knocked out. Dude, I used to watch
because
Kimbo Slice every fucking day.
Oh fuck
watching
yeah!
people, like, I mean,
Kimbo.
Yeah.
Watching people fight each other is so fucking entertaining. I don't care who it is.
So I mean, even if you said like the Jake Paul, all that shit was rigged, you still think it's a good thing because it's bringing boxing.
The Jake Paul thing for me was like I hated the fact that I paid for that.
Well,
because I did pay
here's
for
the
that
thing
fight.
too is I think at some point people were paying. You pay to watch someone lose, and that sort of thing caught on. So
Yeah.
Mayweather, you bought the fight because he's undefeated. You want to watch the
And
fight
to
that
be
he's going to
honest,
lose.
I bought the fight hoping to God that Floyd Mayweather is going to get knocked out by this random fucking YouTube guy.
See?
That's the only reason why I bought the fight.
And
I did not care if Floyd Mayweather would have knocked fucking Logan Paul out. I would have been like, well, that
Saw that coming.
Yeah, saw it coming. You know, I was paying $70 to hope to Jesus Lord that Logan Paul for some reason punched Floyd's head off and knocked him the fuck out.
But that's the thing. It's like
That's what I paid for.
That's why people are paying for the Logan or the Jake Paul fight.
That's why they're doing
because
it.
they want to see him lose. You
Yeah.
don't fight. You don't pay to see someone win. You're not interested in seeing someone win.
I always want to
watch
yeah,
somebody.
I want to see
Yeah.
someone get knocked the fuck
Yeah.
out.
You want to see it end before it's a TKO. You want to see a pure knockout. You want to
Yeah.
see someone drop to the
100%.
ground. Like
Yeah.
whether it's the person you're rooting for or not, you still want to see the fight end.
Dude, the
not
best
someone just
part
eating-
of that fight, the Logan Paul and Mayweather fight, is the fact that Ocho Cinco got knocked the fuck out.
There was that.
That was great.
dude,
good
that
old-fashioned
whole
knockout.
And
Logan,
I am
Ocho Cinco.
so surprised.
the whole Logan Paul Mayweather,
Was it Ocho
and
Cinco?
I think so, wasn't it?
Chad Ocho Cinco?
and,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the whole Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.
yeah.
The Mike Tyson Roy Jones Jr. that entire night was the biggest bummer of my fucking life
Yeah.
watching anything because
Well-
it went until 1 a.m. and nothing fucking happened at all.
It's the same. It's the same with that Mayweather. What's his name? Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Dude, when that was over, I was
That was
I
bullshit.
was like, "Fuck,
Yeah,
man!"
it was
Like,
just
if
a
I
boring
I had a
ass
joke. I
fucking
said, if I
fight.
wanted to watch two men hug, I'd watch Roseanne. That's
Yeah.
all they fucking did. John
The whole
Goodman and
time.
Roseanne.
The whole time.
It
Yeah.
sucked. It
it's
absolutely. But again, that's how Mayweather's been undefeated. Because he's just technically, he just knows
He's a
how to.
defensive fighter.
He knows
That's
how to
all he
not
is.
lose.
Yeah, he's a defensive fighter.
But since
And
you
that's what he's always been good at.
since
Yeah.
you are saying
Since he
like
was-
it,
since he
since
first
you
came
enjoy
up.
boxing and shit like that, is there some kind of fucking thing in you, even though you think it's rigged, with what Jake Paul at least has done, bringing fucking more people watching it, where you can say, "This is good." At least gets more people are watching.
It's
because
good
it brought
for-
me in.
It's good for the sport.
Yeah,
Do you-
yeah.
Let me sidetrack this. Is it good for the sport or is it good for Jake Paul?
It's good for both of them.
Yeah, I
Do you
think
think
it's
it's-
good for
do you-
both.
Because
Do you
now,
think it's
now
really-
he's in the sport.
And he's like a syndicate, or not syndicated, but a what do you call that when they're an actual fighter for whatever boxing?
There's no
sanctioned.
real fucking
So
league or something.
Well,
He's
there's
just
like,
like,
fights are sanctioned, so like these are actually sanctioned by whatever
but
boxing.
not really. The fights he's doing aren't.
so but
Because
that's what
he's,
I'm wondering.
he's not,
The
he's
thing
not
is-
part of like fucking Bellator or
Yeah,
UFC
the
or
thing is
anything.
that we have to
They're
pay
just free,
attention to.
They're free fights.
The thing you have to
Right.
pay attention to
Free
is simply
agent fights.
this, especially with Jake Paul.
Amateur fights almost.
There's people that are actually boxers that have been doing this for a long time that are the
Right.
same weight as Jake Paul.
Dude, that's
Why is he not fighting them? You have to ask yourself that.
because they
why
don't,
is
they
he
don't
not
bring in the
fighting
money.
them?
Some no name.
Yeah, but at the same time, if there's a guy that's a heavyweight champion,
Right.
why is Jake Paul not trying to fight him?
Well, and it's got to kind
He's
of
trying to fight
too.
dudes on the fucking street.
It's kind of
you know.
sucks too because these guys, you grow up your whole life boxing, fighting, trying to get the top, and then Jake Paul decides
He's like,
one
"Oh,
day,
fuck you,"
I'm going to
you
start
know.
boxing,
Yeah.
and like all of a sudden,
Well,
He
you know,
he's
trained
at the
for
top.
2 years,
Well,
and
you
now
know,
Jake Paul,
Top dog.
Yeah.
He has called out some big name people that probably the same kind of attitude where they say fuck you and they're not going to fight him. He has done that and they've said no.
and it's
And
probably for a reason because it's not for the sport.
And
It's for the money.
And he's called out Dana White and called him a bitch and all that shit and said you don't pay
Cocaine
her.
addict.
Yeah, where the people that and I think that I don't like Dana White because if I was Dana White, I would let my fucking fighters fight him because Dana White's so confident that his fighters could take down
But
Jake
they'd
Paul,
have to
but
box,
he
right?
yeah, but
does that work
Jake
with,
Paul actually did fucking give like a little fucking thing out there where he said I'll fucking roll you on the fucking ground too. And
actually,
Dana
they
White said
championship
no.
Wrestlers, both the Paul
Yeah.
boys, they were
Yeah.
championship wrestlers.
And
That's
Dana
what
White
went.
just said no. So if I was Dana White, I'd say, yeah, go do it. But for some reason, he won't let him.
You think he's letting it build? I think it's past that, honestly, though.
No,
If he
I
was gonna
literally
do it, he
saw
probably
something
should have
today
already
where
done it.
Dana White said, like, I'm never going to talk about Jake Paul again.
Yeah, I think I saw that too.
Yeah.
A little Snapchat.
I mean, it's just like I said, it's for the money. It's not for the sport anymore.
It's probably always been that way to a certain degree. You know,
No, it has. It has. Boxing, all fighting. There's always been the shit talking and blah blah blah.
It was never the people. The top dogs were there because they were skilled and they were able to be there. Like
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. Like so, then it was you're gonna fight this person because they're equally as good as you are, and people want to see that fight. Now it's like Jake Paul had YouTube clout, so he's able to get into these situations.
No, I think 100%, and I think this is kind of what you're saying too. 100%. There's probably 1,000 dudes out there that could, probably more, that could kick Jake Paul's ass in boxing. A shit ton of them. But because money is involved,
They won't let it happen.
You call out big people. You want big fights. You want the pay-per-view, and I think you're right on that.
This is internet boxing, essentially. You know,
you want money. You want the money for it.
It's always boxing has always been about money, and it's been the most popular. It's the one people want to see. And unfortunately, if you decide you want to be a boxer, same as when a famous person starts a podcast or something like that, all they have to do is.
So you're saying we should have a mostly facts?
Like when a famous person starts a podcast, it's immediately at the top.
Yeah. All they have to do is talk.
Yeah,
exactly. And so it's sort of similar to Jake Paul. Like
that's
all he
100%.
had to do was get in the ring.
Yeah, that's 100%.
And so but that's the model now.
Yeah. All you had to do is build it up because of YouTube.
Yep.
Build it up. Oh, I'm gonna box. I'm gonna box. I'm gonna box.
Fight a
I'm gonna
couple
box, I'm gonna box.
YouTubers,
Well,
And
that's the
then-
shit now. Like, there's a million YouTubers out there who are fucking half famous that are little shits that are like, I'm gonna box someone. I'm gonna box someone. The only thing in my mind,
I like those fights, little nerds.
Yeah, the only thing in my mind that separates those people from Jake Paul is that I think Jake Paul has reached a level. And again, I never fucking liked Jake Paul. I think
he is.
I think he's
It shows talent.
I think he's
not
a,
talented.
I think he's a little fucking asshole. He always has been. That's how he got famous. I would never say I want to be like this guy. I think he's a fucking douchebag. But I think that he actually turned a point where he was like, I'm gonna
During
be
his boxing career, you think?
like when he started to get into boxing, he's like, I'm actually gonna do this for real. Where I actually think that he's turning into, if he's not a fighter already, I actually think that he might be somewhere there, because that shit, when we watched him knock him out, I don't think that's fucking made up. I don't think I'd be like, hey, you just hit me as hard as you can, and I'm gonna fucking eat the floor, and I'm gonna get $1 million and look like a bitch because I was a UFC fighter, but you just embarrassed me. I'm gonna let you embarrass me.
I'm really on the fence on this because there's a point. You're right, where, of course he's a YouTuber, all this bullshit, but at the same time, I do think he's somewhat talented, but also he can't lose. It's like Mayweather's 51 or 52-0. Like he can't lose a single fight. And it's going to have to be, to keep this money train rolling, he's going to have to win. And if you want to be a part of his money train, you're going to have to get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like that's the thing that sucks too, is it goes like 2 rounds and then he's done. I'd like to see what would happen if one went, 5 or 6 rounds, or actually
this
like
one was 6.
well, yeah, no,
with
the
Last
Logan
Jake Paul one was
the Logan
Jake Paul one. I thought that was in like the second round where he.
no 6.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
and the Logan Paul one with Mayweather.
50 million,
I
by
would
the way.
probably be more on your side because I thought it was kind of bullshit.
It was.
It was a bullshit weird fight with Logan Paul, who should get knocked the fuck out by probably the best boxer of all time.
Yeah, Floyd was not even
trying.
boxing.
Yeah.
Floyd would not
He was-
take that
Yeah.
fight unless it was guaranteed he was going to win.
Yeah,
There's
I think
no
that-
way he
I
was
think
going to lose to a fucking YouTuber.
Floyd
There's
was
no way.
fucking
That's
playing
not how
with
he's going
him.
to
Plus-
ruin his career.
They're different weight classes.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Yeah, right here. Here, everybody, take a look.
Yeah, no, I think the Logan
Like that- yeah,
Logan
no.
Floyd fight was fucking weird. It was weird.
It was predetermined for sure.
Like, look how unserious Floyd Mayweather is.
Yeah, he knows he's gonna win.
Yeah, no,
He's like, dude,
I think
it's a wrap.
Dude,
We're
he's
gonna hit
cocky
each other a
enough-
couple times. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna walk out
Floyd-
of here with $10 million, and that's it.
Yeah.
to Floyd, I feel like that was a practice round to him. He just kind of fucked around.
I wouldn't even give him.
That's
that
what
kind
he
of
does
credit.
at the
I just-
gym.
it's-
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
That's what he does with his coach in the gym.
Yeah, and then Logan acted like he won a
Logan
world
was
championship.
yeah, like
yeah. He got his earnings before he even stepped foot in that ring. You
Yeah.
know, like he got his winning check before he stepped foot.
and
But
and
again,
I can think probably, and this is pure speculation, that Logan Paul probably has close to, if not the same amount of money, just off of all the internet, YouTube
Sure,
money.
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, makes a lot of money. Where they probably paid Floyd and said, "Hey, let's just keep it kind of like this, and not only are you going to get this money, but we're going to throw you a couple extra million
Yeah.
on top of that."
Floyd's not
you
gonna
know?
care.
Yeah.
All that dude cares about is money.
Yeah, like
Floyd,
I'm not gonna.
money,
We're
Mayweather.
I'm
Yeah. I
not
think
gonna knock
that's-
you out. You don't knock me out. We're just
Yeah.
gonna kind of.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Because there was about a million times where Floyd could have knocked Logan Paul out.
dude, I wouldn't
At
be
the end of the
surprised-
fight, Logan didn't even have his fucking hands up most of the time.
I would not be surprised if they had like bouts before the game, like or before the match. You know,
an
like,
old buddy wrestling
dude,
match.
like the end of Rocky was like, all right, I'm gonna tag you on this one. Little freeze frame.
So that one pulled 50 million.
Yeah. What was the other? 30 million?
Yeah, so 20 million more for like the last actual big fight.
Yeah. And you know,
and
it's-
then you fight a fucking YouTube guy and you pull 20 million more.
dude, that's obviously gonna pull
It
you out of retirement.
I mean, dude, seriously, like,
it's all about money.
Well,
It
you know,
really is.
because
At the end
see
of the
what
day-
this. I guess just see what this last Jake Paul fight pulled.
I think it was abysmal. If I remember right, it wasn't
Yeah.
what. But again, it wasn't the same fight that they were planning for. But let's see, Jake
you know,
Paul.
and Taylor, I will at least, until the point happens, agree with you to a point on Jake Paul, because Jake Paul has been fighting people who aren't trained as boxers. He's been fighting UFC people and YouTubers and shit like that. Like the fight where it's an official fight, and they've been exhibition matches too. The fight where Jake Paul, the first one that he does against an actual boxer, and it's an
That's the
actual
thing.
certified boxing match, and Jake Paul wins, that's when I'm going to go, yeah, he has been. And if he loses, I'll be like, okay, yeah. I see it now.
That's the thing is like, and that's the thing. It can't be like just some random heavyweight fighter that has a shitty record, because it's the same situation.
Or some 6-year-old guy.
Hey,
yeah.
you have a really shitty record. Now you've made basically no money getting your ass knocked out, you know, for your whole entire career
Yeah,
of
dude.
boxing.
No
Let me
one's
box
watching
you,
that shit.
and I guarantee we'll pull fucking, you know, at least, you know, $10 million.
Dude, it was
I feel
like
like
that-
the
what was
Ben,
that?
the
It's gotta be the same
Ben
thing.
Askren was the
that
weakest
it.
one.
He was only getting
If
paid
Ben
500
Askren-
grand for that.
Yeah, if you get an actual heavyweight boxer, like, I don't even know who the heavyweight, you know, champion of the world is right now in boxing, but if you get that dude to fight Jake Paul, and
Kill
then
him.
he'll kill him.
Well,
right?
I'm not
you
going to say he's
can't
going to kill him. I just want to
because
see it.
at the same, I do too, because I want to see that
An ass
this is
whooping.
what actually happens.
Just
know,
to prove
Just
everyone.
to prove
yeah.
Jake Paul is
See,
not what
But
you thought he was.
you brought up an interesting point. There hasn't
But I
been
guarantee that'll never happen.
there hasn't been a boxer v boxer match in a long time it's high, you know, high
Well, as far
views.
as the celebrity shit goes, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been. I guess the last one was probably Mayweather and
Yeah. And now all
Pacquiao.
the Canelo
Yeah,
fights.
And now
are-
it's
Yeah.
they bring in UFC
Dude,
fighters that
and-
have a big draw, and then they
And exactly
try
what
their
you
hand.
said. I don't want to be a Jake Paul dick sucker, because I'm not.
Too late.
I'm just,
way too late, buddy.
I'm
Way
just-
too late.
I'm just
stating facts
because I want to see that
Mostly
too.
facts.
I want to see Jake Paul fight a real fucking boxer, his age, right around his weight class, and I want to see what happens. And that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
Like I want to see that, you know, because that, like I can.
I promise you, and you can mark my words on this, you'll never see that. The next Jake Paul fight will be some other random motherfucker, and it'll pull a shit ton of money because that's all they're doing it for.
Dude says that the
They'll
last
never fight a real boxer.
Paul versus Woodley 2 brought in $3.9 million.
Who was the guy that
pay-per-view.
dropped out that he was supposed to fight before?
That's why I won't do it again.
Who was the guy that was supposed to fight
Tyson
him?
Fury, maybe, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Tyson Fury did fight. That's another big fight because that's heavyweight.
No, Tyson Fury didn't fight him.
No, he didn't fight Jake Paul.
Wasn't he? But
But
who
Tyron
was supposed to? Who dropped out of
Fury
the fight?
actually, fought a real boxer that last,
But-
6 months ago, 7 months ago, whatever
Right,
it was.
but who dropped
guy,
out?
The
of
guy that dropped
this
out before
and
Woodley.
ended up having a fight.
That,
with
no,
it,
it
was
wasn't.
it was Tyson Fury. It was
I thought
Tyson
it was,
Fury.
but also this guy's named Tyron, so we could have easily been
Yeah,
Tyson Fury, no, because he fought. What's
He's,
his name last time? Like an actual boxer.
Put
It
in
was like the third
put in
fight
Jake
that they
Paul
had.
versus Fury because I think that was the guy that dropped out like 2 weeks before, and then Woodley came back. It's like, oh,
Tommy Fury,
Yeah, no, that's not.
Tyson Fury.
just put in Fury. We'll see.
Tommy Fury. I'm seeing a lot of Tommy Fury, which I'm sure is like Tyson Fury's
Brother,
brother,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not
Dad.
fighting Tyson Fury.
That's what I
Tyson
was
Fury
wondering.
is an actual fucking boxer, and Jake Paul would have got his fucking
Is he-
shit.
Well,
Well,
Does he
that
do
was the thing.
UFC?
He was supposed to fight him, and then he dropped
Tommy
out.
Fury.
He dropped out, and then Woodley.
I think
Tommy
it's,
Fury.
I think it's Tommy Fury.
Okay, I
again-
can't tell it between.
Again, I think I was thinking the same thing, but I think it was Tommy Fury who's probably his brother. That's like fighting Frank Stallone in Rocky, you know.
yeah, he fought Wilder, Tyson Fury, and he's an actual fucking boxer.
Oh, okay. In the separate match, not the Jake Paul one, because
Tyson
Tommy
Fury.
Fury calls for unfinished business with Jake Paul.
It really is right on the edge of like WWE.
For real, yeah, that's a good point. It
I'm
is.
calling you out.
I'll have sex with your wife.
If you don't fight me.
Dude, there's a lot of Fury Gypsy family. What's this?
Oh, the Fury
Dude, he's
Gypsy.
probably fighting Shane here.
Shane Fury, your drunk cousin.
That's drunk. You should look at him.
That's pretty funny.
I'd fight
Wait.
Paris Fury.
Who's John Fury? He's in like the senior PGA.
Dude, he's the offensive coordinator for
the Colts.
yeah, for Phoenix University of Phoenix Online.
Look, you got Paris Fury, Prince John James, huh? The Fury family's pretty big here, huh?
There's Tommy. Are they even
Yeah, see,
related?
I can see that dude fighting fucking.
Let's have all of
Jake
them in a
Paul.
ring versus Jake, and all of them gang up.
Oh,
on
dude,
him.
they'd be doing that shit in the middle of a mall. A VFW.
In the middle of a New Jersey mall.
Mall of America.
Everybody versus Jake Paul.
Tommy Fury reveals plans to return to boxing after MRI scan on broken rib. Why was he getting an MRI on his rib? Who knows? Not important.
Well, you know, since
Dude, this is the most I've ever talked about fighting in my entire life. I swear to God. Never in my life.
Since Conor McGregor was brought up earlier, how do you feel about him? Because I feel like he's a bullshit fighter too. I feel like he's a big shit talker who gets his ass kicked consistently.
Especially recently. Because he
Yeah.
had a moment there where he was pretty
Recently, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
he's
he-
all-
But
he-
at the same
he's
time,
old,
he
right?
also fought fucking Khabib
Oh.
and got destroyed.
Now, Joe Rogan
And-
tells me he's the best.
Khabib,
Is that right?
He is the best.
That's what I thought.
He's
I
never
heard.
lost.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Have
he's
you seen
never
that
lost.
mini
That-
Khabib on TikTok?
like-
The little-
Hasbula?
Yeah, Hasbula.
Dude, you know about Hasbula?
No.
Oh, I
don't
love
know what-
Hasbula.
Dude, he punches Khabib in the face. Fucking fight me. And he's got some kind of Asperger's or something. He's,
Can we watch a Hasbula?
yeah, we can. Dude, Hasbula rules. How do you not know about Hasbula? He's all the rage.
Like, yeah, because where's Khabib from? Like, what, Turkey or
He's from Germany.
Is he?
Is he
I thought he
really?
was
like originally
Arab.
from?
I thought he was some kind of Arab.
Ukrainian.
I hope not. Sad times for them.
I'm pretty sure he's German.
Yeah, let's see a Hasbula video. This little kid, he's really actually like 25 years old, but he's a giant.
yeah, he's
he's
got,
a legend.
yeah,
he's
got
a
some kind
legend
of
in, like,
disorder. He's got
Turkey.
Andy Milonakis syndrome, and he's just like a terminally child.
Actually,
Benjamin
Andy,
Button.
Do any of these look good?
to Andy Milonakis tells him that he's got Andy Milonakis syndrome.
Right.
Just hit TikTok or put TikTok in after that because there's videos of him like punching Khabib.
I remember that one. Yeah.
And there's some like little kid singer too where they want to fight him. Yeah, go to that second one. Yeah, this kid's the big new fighter. Look at this. He's like 25 years old.
подарил тебе вот этот голубя. Да.
They make him fly planes and shoot guns and shit.
Почему?
Yeah, that thing is. He's 25 years old. He's Patrick Mahomes' age.
I mean, honestly, If this guy's as funny as I guess he is, would he not be your friend if this was the same age? I'd have this guy hanging out with me all day.
Yeah, he'd be part of my crew, my boys. Dude, come on, hit somebody. Dude, he's feisty.
Look forward a little bit. Let's see him with a gun, or let's see him boxing some other guy.
Oh, is that Khabib? No, that's some other guy.
Yeah, go back and just search Khabib because he hangs out with Khabib a lot.
All right, let me,
This is our next big Jake Paul fight.
Kebab.
I think there's an H in there somewhere. There we go. Khabib Hasbula. Now that's what's gonna get you your pay-per-view right there.
Oh, I think it's this one here.
Yeah, look at that.
Nope. Now this is a fighter. All right, let's see here. MMA crazy.
Uh-oh.
It's about to get wild.
Hasbula.
25 years old. Dude, that's like a dad when he throws a nice speed ball right at a catcher's glove.
Like honestly, gotta say Hasbula is a good sport because even if I was still 25 and someone did that fake ass dad shit to me, I'd be like, hey, I'm fucking 25.
Yeah, no shit. Dude, imagine carding this guy at a gas station. Dude, I'm sorry, it's fake. God damn it! Come on, he hits Khabib in the face.
Yeah, I think it's mostly on TikTok. You might not find it on here. Honestly,
Doesn't matter. Anyway, he's a little badass.
if Hasbula came in and asked for a pack of Marlboro Lights and
Dude, if he
kinda-
busts that door open right now, I'm giving him whatever he wants. I'm not fucking with Hasbula, dude. He will fuck you up.
do you think there's actually people? There has to be people out there like that where they show their IDs at a gas station and you just look like a kid, and they scan it, they look at it, and they still go.
Dude,
I mean, if you saw that guy,
I would not sell that guy alcohol.
like if it was your job, you worked at a gas station, and you're like,
Dude, I wouldn't even sell him anything because I was like, do your parents know you're here? Like,
honestly, the guy to ask
whose
is this
card
guy
is
like
this?
at your restaurant.
Dude,
if
I'd
Hasbula,
be like, no.
Yeah.
if Hasbula walked into your restaurant,
I don't give a fuck who's TikTok.
Yeah. No, I saw TikTok. No bullshit, dude.
Fuck about TikTok.
Dude, yeah, TikTok ain't happening.
You gonna go fight in the war?
you're gonna.
You gonna fight the war?
You gonna fight in the fucking
Greatest
war?
generation, huh?
You little fuck.
You little shit D-Day, motherfucker.
Little motherfucker.
Dude, you can't even carry a gun.
Kick you outside the fucking. I'll literally kick you outside of my fucking
Dude,
restaurant.
I'll throw you in the fucking grease trap, motherfucker.
They literally load him into a cannon.
Yeah. Fire him off.
Dude, 30 years ago, this guy was a circus act. Like before the internet, this guy was an absolute circus. He was traveling by train town to town with elephants and shit.
Major Little.
Major Little. Oh. I don't know. I think Taylor would like to hear that story.
I'll make it quick. It's a quick one. Let me just base it off this real quick. Did you ever see a movie called Big Fish?
I don't think so.
Okay, well
Who's
it's a movie way back in the probably 15 years ago where a grandpa on his dying bed tells a bunch of bullshit stories, conjoined twins and all this, and it's just all bullshit, and the family thinks it's bullshit, and then at the end of the funeral, it's kind of true. There's two twins, blah blah blah. My grandpa tells a shit ton of stories
All
that
true.
are just unbelievable.
All true. All true. I can testify. I would go in front of Congress and back him. That's how confident I am about his grandpa's
Well, anyway,
story.
this Major Little story. I'll give you a 1 minute wrap of my grandpa's life. Very young, grew up in the South. Joined the army when he was 14 illegally. Went to Korea, got shot 6 times in the back. Came back, literally worked the Green Mile job that Tom Hanks does at a death row deal. Some bad stories I don't want to talk about on Mike on that, where he was probably the bad guy. then did some other shit. Like,
Horsey.
yeah, did a lot of shit. So anyway, one of his stories that he told me about was when he was a police officer at a small town in the deep south, that the circus came through one week, and that this little midget fell in love with a local girl in the town, and the circus left town, and he decided he was going to stay. So he needed to make money somehow, so all the police department really liked him. So they, I guess, half-faked and still paid him. They're like, you can work with the police department. So they put phone books in the side of a police car, and they called him Major Little, and drove him around. And this little circus freak guy was part of the police department for a little bit. Yeah,
Dude, those were old back in the day. Circus trains could come, and people would come and go. I'm sure it was a lot easier to run away like to the circus. We kind of joke about it now, but like to run away to the circus, that was probably pretty easy.
Yeah,
Train comes in, you leave. That's
honestly,
it.
there's
like being a groupie.
Oh yeah,
there's a
That's
lot
the same
funnier
thing.
stories that I can tell you, but I'm going to tell you off mic about it.
yeah, they rule.
Like being a groupie, it's like one of the easiest things in the world. You're just like,
think
there's no rules to it. There's no application.
I think I'd be a groupie if I was a
Like,
woman.
I think there are rules.
I don't think there's
it's
rules.
Sucking and fucking, right?
That's just a,
Dude, that's
a
two.
part of something. I mean, that's just life. Man.
I mean,
That's just life, bro.
I'm sucking and fucking my way through every day,
And that's not mostly a fact. That's just a fact.
Dude, yeah.
That's just a
It's
fact.
not even mostly a fact.
Yeah. Girls are throwing their shit around. We're throwing our shit around. You know what I'm saying? We're all sucking and fucking.
Sucking
You
and
feel me?
fucking.
Russell
to
would
the
suck
moon.
for a milli.
right to the top.
Millie, I changed that. That was my original number.
No, you didn't. You
I
said-
know. I said I'd swallow low for a Billy.
Exactly.
All right, that's
But
different.
you said sucky for a milli.
Just put my
but
mouth
then-
around it for $1 million.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do that. Now, anything past that's gay as fuck. I have no business.
Honestly, for a
not interested in
a tax-free million.
tax-free million, yeah.
But I'm saying a
Dude,
tax-free.
nobody's
hold on,
nobody's
though.
giving you a 1099 for sucking their dick, dude. It's gonna be tax
Are you
free.
saying that you would full suck for $1 million tax free?
a tax-free million.
Like full suck?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
with
as soon as the
Yeah.
IRS is involved,
Yeah.
I'm not
with the
touching
happy
that
ending?
wiener.
Yeah, I have no
With the
shame.
happy ending?
That's a bump. I mean, that's
A tax-free, you put $1 million cash down in front of me. Yeah, sure.
I
Why
put,
not?
I put my lips on
Yeah.
a wiener for $1 million.
Russell wouldn't do anything more than that though.
That's it.
Because I was like, okay,
That's
what's the standard there? And he's like, I would literally put my lips on it and I'm gonna get my
Yeah.
check.
I feel like that's almost more embarrassing.
He wouldn't even actually blow him.
I feel like that's almost more embarrassing.
Where's my check?
I tricked you.
That's more humiliating.
As a matter of fact, I'll do this 10 more times. It isn't even bad.
It's only gay if it's like 3 or 4 seconds long.
You know, honestly, if I'm gonna fucking do it, I want the person to go, yeah, well, yeah, they earned it.
No, see, but that's where we disagree, because if I earn it, that means to completion.
So tax-free million, how much? Or tax-free, how much?
Again, this
Dollar
is
amount.
going to be tax free because they're not sending.
So
me
how
one.
much you want?
I need $1
No
billion
one's sending you a
A
W-2
bill? So
to completion.
So 500 million, you wouldn't do it.
No.
$500 million because
Think
that is
about it, but the answer's still going to be no.
so $500 million. You wouldn't fucking really put in work because literally you're not going to ever have to work ever in your life. Your kids, your grandkids, never. 500 million. You're not going to fucking do that.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I got standards, dude.
I got standards.
Dude, I'll do that for $1 million.
Yeah.
But dude, completion, this is a different ball game. We're
Five-
talking apples and oranges here.
Dude, 500 goddamn million. That's insane. Like, honestly, respect to you.
It's like,
for
I'll
your-
do whatever the fuck you want.
For your standards, that's
And
amazing.
Furthermore,
For your standards, that's-
this is hypothetical. If someone literally had a suitcase full of $500 million,
You'd get on your
I would.
knees. through
I
it.
think about, dude. I'd wear a sailor outfit and everything. Do you have the little cap?
Steal your brother's outfit that he wore last time on the show.
Little lederhosen.
Yeah.
Jake Paul comes in and says, I want to knock you out and you suck my dick.
I wouldn't do it just because Jake Paul.
But
Just
for how
because
much?
Jake Paul.
Oh,
$1 million. I'm not. No.
You're not.
No, I'm still talking 500. 500.
Trust me. I mean,
Because I'm pretty sure I said that I just wouldn't do it, no matter how much money it was. I didn't think
I can edit that. I can edit that.
Yeah.
I can.
In
I
the
can edit
original,
MT out.
episode, I said I just wouldn't do it. I don't care how much money there is.
Well, you're
I'm
wrong.
more of a pride guy.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
So
you get a dollar amount. Everybody does. That's a fact.
That's true. That's true.
No, you got one. I'm telling you.
Dude, that's every bit of pride that you have as a straight man.
Dude, but again, this is behind closed doors.
And
It's just between you and a gentleman
Dude,
lover.
And honestly, this
If you,
this
dude,
doesn't.
no,
This
the
does
thing
not
is,
mean-
Russell, is that you can say that all you want, but I guarantee you, even if you were like, okay, closed doors, I just made $1 million. You'd be like, Russell, how'd you make $1 million? And you'd be like, well,
See,
and then you would
that's
tell
interesting.
me.
Though. I
But
would,
so
I
it's
would
not
have to.
closed
I would
doors.
have to own up.
But
to
this
it.
And if I was
doesn't change you.
if I was a dickhead, I would go and fucking tell everyone that you just sucked a cock for $1
dude.
million.
And furthermore, if I ever gotten to a shit ton of money, you would be pretty
Very
quick
curious.
to realize.
I know
what
exactly what
happened.
happened.
But you said
$1 million
as a,
untaxed
Hey
dollars.
guys, we got 2 more of these mics. Did you blow somebody?
but you said as a straight man, because this literally doesn't change how you think. Like, because it's like someone, like, if you just absolutely goddamn hated mayonnaise and someone said, hey, for $1 million, eat some mayonnaise, and you went, "Goom."
That's fucking
it doesn't
mayonnaise,
mean
though.
you it doesn't mean you fucking like it, though. You did it for the fucking money.
Yeah, but you could.
You
I
just
don't give a
humiliate
fuck.
yourself.
I hate tuna. You could pay me $100 to eat tuna. I'd do it.
I think you're homophobic. I
No,
think
I'm
you
not.
hate queers.
You heard it here first, folks.
Right here, boys.
I have gay friends.
Not how
And they're
friendly.
my homies. So
Hey Ben, turn that power switch on there. Now we're cooking. Sorry, your phone wasn't charging at all. Oh no, it actually was. Never mind. All right. Well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree because
I have
respectfully,
gay friends.
Well, if anyone
If they
hears this
offered
for
you-
$1
are they-
million, I will do it for $1 million.
To
You get
complete?
cash
This
now.
just in.
Yeah, you put it in front of me, $1 million. I'll yeah, no shame.
the cradle balls, swallow
Yeah.
gravy.
Yeah, I can handle it. Give me $1 million. Put $1 million cash right in front of me. I'll do it,
Dude, again, too, we don't know what we would do until $1 million cash was right in front of you.
Just they open it up, deal or no deal. You know,
Dude, and I take it to the bank, I deposit it, and then I'd, right there in the drive-through if that was necessary.
Or
But
we
again-
could go back to being gangsters, like we talked about.
Pimps?
Yeah, we could do that.
I'm not
Or
making
you
$1
could
million
just-
being a
if,
pimp.
No, if someone just comes in here and is like, "I have $1 million. You want to suck my cock?" Or you can kill him, throw the body,
That's
throw the
always an
body away, and then
option.
take the millie.
I
Right.
mean, it's always an option.
the
But
murder's risky though.
unfortunately, the problem is I know if I ever did that, if this ever became a real situation, you guys would be the first people I would tell. Like,
100%.
I did it, guys. It actually the opportunity presented itself. This actually happened.
You know what? If you told that to
This
me,
is
if you
what
told that
this
to me,
is the
I would
first
say
thing I would expect you to send me.
I would say for $100,000, I won't tell anybody.
Already with the black
For
This is
$100
the-
grand, I won't tell anybody.
This is
I tell
exactly
10 people and they all want 100 grand. I don't have any money for blowing that guy.
this is exactly what I figured you would send me as soon as it happened. Check your
What?
phone.
Oh, my phone's recording. Show me.
Oh, I can't. I just sent it to your Snapchat.
It's Pornhub/gay/
Oh, no,
Ass
there you go.
grabbers 9. $1 million for the Julie face.
Yeah.
If I got that snap from one of them bots, I'd take it.
No, I feel like if you did it, that's what you would send me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
got-
got
No,
$1 million.
No, I wouldn't even tell you. I would do it live. I'd do a live announcement.
Yeah.
Guess
At that
what?
point, because you got to do the Jerry Springer approach. You got to
Guess-
own it. You got to own it right up top.
Put some chapstick. Guess what, boys?
I'm a millionaire. You boys got $1 million in the bank? Because I do.
Because I do, boo boo.
Call me Jake Paul.
Making millies out here sucking.
Because it was a
dicks.
fight. But
it was rigged.
Dude, I mean, again, though, it's like you don't know until the money's in front of you. I mean, unless you're as pure as the driven snow. You're sitting there looking at that money. It's yours. All you got to do is a quick bopper,
Dude, like in my mind, what I think is like, yeah, I don't want to. That's nothing that I'd want to do like voluntarily. But like in my mind, I think like, what am I in the real world literally doing? I'm putting my mouth on some fucking skin. I'm gonna get $1 million fucking bucks, and I get to walk away from it and have $1 million. Yeah, I can fucking do it. I can mind over matter. I could fucking do it.
It's just
no
you
problem.
get a one or two. It's like the after effects, like you
The
get a
baby
lip.
grown in your stomach.
I'm pregnant. You call him back and tell him you're
Son of a
pregnant.
bitch.
You're fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and twins or whatever the fucking.
Super sperm.
What was the movie where he
I
got
thought
pregnant?
that was
There was a movie where
There
Arnold got
was.
pregnant, and he had a baby through his dick. Oh God! It was called Junior. That's what it was called.
Was it?
Yeah.
Junior, yeah. Wow. He went from Predator to that. Damn, dude. What an idiot.
What guy were we talking about after the podcast the other night where he had like a 2-year break, and we're like, what did he go from? Oh, Busey. Gary Busey.
Right after his car crash, yeah.
his motorcycle crash. Yeah.
You know, my uncle was actually his personal assistant during that time.
I feel like you told me this, but also, hey, wait, listen. Because I don't think you've ever told.
Nah, he doesn't know. I keep this pretty close to the vest.
All right.
Unless I'm
All right, I want
broadcasting.
to tell you this because I know Russell hasn't, because me and some other people have dogged him so hard on this. Russell told us a story one day, probably like 4 years ago,
Happened.
where he said,
Facts.
did you know where Russell lived when he was growing up? Like where his mom's house is now?
Yeah, you know my house, yeah.
Like Office Sunshine right there? Okay. So Russell told us a story just one night. He's like, hey, did I ever tell you about this? We're like, huh? And it's like the day that I met Chuck Norris, Walker, Texas Ranger, where he came to my front door. And we went, huh? And he said, yeah. He said, one day I was the only one home and the doorbell rang and I walked to the front door of my house right over there on Latoka.
Yeah. Tell
And
everybody.
he said, and I opened it up and there was an old, what was it, Chrysler?
Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile. He said there's an old beat up Oldsmobile parked in the driveway. And Chuck Norris was standing there at the door and he looked at Russell and he said, do you know who I am? And Russell said, yeah. And then he asked, for some name, which apparently was his neighbor's name.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, no, this isn't the house. They live next door. And Walker, Texas Ranger looked at him and said, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
So Chuck Norris apparently came to his goddamn front door about, what, like 15 years ago?
Oh, more than that. That was high
Yeah.
school, dude. This was elementary school.
20 years ago, came to his front door and talked with Russell in a shitty Oldsmobile.
I have an answer for that.
And had the wrong address.
I got all the answers.
But
there.
I want you to tell me right now that this is still, yes, this happened.
Dude, I'm reliving it right now. I can tell you that this happened. This is
all I wanted to
This
hear.
is a picture in my mind. This is a conversation I actually had. I'm telling you. Now, whether or not he was Chuck Norris is debatable.
No.
However,
I want you to tell me in
allegations
your
are coming to light.
mind, this was Chuck Norris that came.
Yeah, it was. Again, wild stuff here, folks. And I was young because it was that kind of age where your parents can't afford daycare, so like they're leaving you home alone, and you're not really supposed
This
to open
has
the door.
nothing to do
No, it does.
with Chuck Norris
Dude,
coming to your front door.
because I wasn't supposed to, like, it was early enough where I wasn't supposed to open the door, but I kind of forgot that rule. And nobody was home. It was just me, my brother, and sister. And so I opened the door, and there's a guy standing there, and he says, do you know who I am? And I said, no. And he goes, I'm Chuck Norris. And I go, oh, yeah, okay. And he was there with his daughter. There was a daughter with him. And
Wait, this is new to me. I've never
You
heard
never
the
the
daughter. I've never heard
yeah,
the
he was
daughter.
there with a little girl. Yeah, he's there with his daughter at the time. And he said, "Oh, sorry, I must have the wrong house," and went to my neighbor's house, which we haven't confirmed with the neighbor that happened. We really got to do some research on
So
that.
Taylor, what I want to ask you after you're talking about the Jake
I don't
Paul,
like the way he's
the
scratching
Jake
his
Paul
neck.
fights are fake. What do you think of this story that Chuck Norris knocked on Russell's door when he was a kid and had the wrong address in his shitty Oldsmobile?
A shitty Oldsmobile, I can explain. I'm telling you, he's a private pilot. It was a loaner car. It's a loaner car. I've looked into this extensively because I also don't believe that this. I mean, I do now. Yes, I'm 100% sure that the only thing I don't know, and I can't, is if it was actually Chuck Norris or not, because I was too young to really know. But someone did come to my house, stand at my door, and tell me that they were Chuck Norris.
All right. I'll say this much.
All right, well, fuck you guys.
I believe the story,
I believe you believe
but
it.
I am positive that I guarantee you it was not Chuck Norris.
Well,
I believe your story.
now we
I
have.
believe your story,
That's what I said too.
but I do not believe Chuck Norris came to your house.
I said that I believe that he believed it.
Now, Ben, if you would enlighten them on the political aspect of this.
I don't like politics.
Oh, you'll like this.
Okay, well, the closest I got to believing Russell on this, but I don't think the years match up really.
It doesn't matter. He's big time.
It's his big name.
Was-
you ever heard of him, Chuck Norris?
Was
Yeah,
and I, and, and I
met him
have-
actually.
and I have it on
at my
video of my mom telling me. She said, "You actually like we went to a George Senior Bush Senior
Yeah, he's a fundraiser.
a fundraiser, a rally one time in Springfield, and that
Mr. Norris.
Chuck Norris was there, and we brought you there, and you actually saw him." And I went, "Holy shit, really?" So I sent this to Russell, but I don't think the years match up.
No, but this was
Because
probably
this had to be like, what, 96?
this is probably
96?
98-ish.
Yeah, like,
But also, he would have been campaigning for, George Bush Sr., which I think he would have done. And also,
but that was the Dole years, you know? Bush Sr.
Bush won in
wasn't
2000.
around.
He won in 2000.
Well, Bush,
2000 to 2008, Bush Jr.
yeah, Bush.
I think he was
Jr.
doing a favor for Pops. All I know is what I saw, folks, and I know it's a stretch.
Well, let me just throw this out there too.
Russell's a liar.
Russell also said that he a river runs through it or something with Brad Pitt was being filmed down the street, on the same street.
Well, that wasn't the movie. I actually looked it up and I found out what it was, but I don't remember now.
But at least Brad Pitt is from here.
Yeah, that's
But
believable.
a river runs
He
through
has
it
a
is a
fucking
fucking
house here.
But a river
You're
runs
right.
through it is a fucking.
It's a mountain movie.
It's a fucking movie in
It's a-
Montana where
it's
they're
about
fly
fly
fishing.
They ain't doing that here.
No, this was I did look it up and I can't remember the name, but it was filmed here and it was on my street because it was a big truck. It was a
What movie was it?
I can't. It wasn't anything anyone would know. I'll have to look it up again, but I do know.
See what I'm saying, Taylor?
Getting at?
See what I'm saying?
Is it a Brad Pitt movie?
No, it wasn't a Brad Pitt movie.
Oh.
I thought
It was
okay.
Carrot Top.
I said a river runs through it because Ryan Parch told me that as a kid because we were both around the same age. This was around 96.
You know what? If Ryan
97.
Parch is listening, I never liked you.
Well, I almost got to see. That was going to be the first time I ever got to see female body parts. He tried, and then I stopped him. I was like, no, please.
What? Because Ryan Parch?
Yeah. He's trying to get Brennan, someone that we knew to come over and show us her vag and titties.
Oh, the blonde, skinny. I'm not going to say the name. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wanted to come over, and I was like, no, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
I was a real puss about the whole thing. But anyway, it was across the street, and it was a semi truck with just lights, big lights. That's all it was, and there was another semi truck with like camera equipment and shit. So, but again, why? And I've questioned this multiple times. Why the hell would they like put up the funding to drive to this one particular house across the street from me? I never understood that part, but I have vivid memories of this shit.
Well, I mean, that's the question I have right now, too, is like on your random street in Springfield, Missouri, why would a film crew come?
My neighbor was the producer for Smashing Pumpkins. His kid was. So, a lot of things can happen.
Wait, I've never even heard this, and I don't know, like, should we go into this? I've never heard that. Your neighbor was the producer for Smashing?
My neighbor's son, Miss Wilson's son, was the neighbor for, was the producer for one of the Smashing Pumpkins albums. Either that or my dad was just fucking pumping me full of bullshit for years.
He probably pumped you full of bullshit for years after you thought you met fucking Chuck Norris. Because I guarantee the first thing that happened when your dad came home is you told him that Chuck Norris came to your house.
You believe that? Like, all right, let's see what else we can get away with.
Hold
'Cause
up in this
he probably
dirty
filled you.
Oldsmobile.
he told me for
Full of
years he
bullshit.
was part of the Doobie Brothers. He was a member.
you
he was-
believed him.
I did. I went to first
did.
grade and I wrote in my journal. I said, my dad is one of the guys in the Doobie Brothers, and he does the like I did some kind of like Blackwater kind of thing. And then they're like, all right, let's read. We did like popcorn reading or journal entries, and I just stand up in front of the class, and I was so proud. I was like,
Your
you know
dad
what?
was one of the
My
Dewey
dad was one of the Dewey brothers, and I just remember looking over at my teacher, and he goes, huh?
The one part,
No.
and now that I've slowly started to know more about you, the one
Yeah.
part that I just really don't believe the Chuck Norris thing is because you didn't let him in your house.
Hell no. I had strict rules not to
Russell,
let
you
anyone in the
everyone
house.
in your house. We've been over this.
I have in the past. I was
You welcome anyone
I
into
was,
your home.
I was 6 years old. I wasn't drunk. Like, I'm telling you,
You said like 2 weeks ago that you would let a homeless dude come in here.
yeah, because I know I could keep him out. I wouldn't let him in over there. I'd talk to a homeless guy.
You know,
Fucking do it, pussy.
if you can remember back to the time
Go
though,
down
when
to
he
the 9 block.
when he said he
Bring
was
one of
Chuck
them in here.
Norris,
Not them. Not them.
had you watched Walker? Did you know
I
at the
did,
time?
I didn't know who Chuck Norris was. Yeah, I'd seen Walker.
So you knew who he was when he
and
said,
he looked like him, even in the.
So when he said, "I'm Chuck Norris," you're like, "Oh,
Yeah, because he was a little disheveled from travel, from his travels.
disheveled." No, this was. I don't think this was.
A little disheveled from his
He
travels.
was pulling up in a beat up Oldsmobile.
Yeah, it was a courtesy car from the airport.
I
I'm
don't
telling you,
think
he's a
that's what
private
they had back
pilot.
then.
He's a private pilot. That's what happens when you fly into town. You get a courtesy car, and they're usually
And if you're
junk.
Chuck Norris, that's not. They don't give you junk cars.
Oh, they're not going to give you their own car. They're going to give you whatever's available, which is usually junk.
But at the same time,
I've been in several courtesy cars.
1998. Chuck Norris was a big fucking deal. Walker,
That is
everything.
interesting.
He was a
Yeah,
big
that's
guy.
an interesting point because surely somebody would have arranged a driver.
They're not going
for-
to give him a fucking
I-
shitty Oldsmobile
we got the Oldsmobile, I guess.
to
Why
drive.
the fuck are
Smells
you
like-
here? I'm
smells
here
like cigarettes
to-
and fucking.
to drive off of
Needles.
fucking Sunshine to the wrong house and knock on a door.
Hey, Sandy here. Ah, shit, who the fuck are you, kid?
And like,
Hey, tell people about this in the future. They'll believe you.
and that's a
Definitely.
weird thing if I was famous to say to a kid if I was in a random town to go, you know who I am?
No, I'm telling you, I can't wait. If I ever get famous, I am going to do this. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna give people a lot of experiences. That's what I'm saying.
That's also weird.
Yeah, not weird.
I'm
Not
gonna,
weird.
I'm gonna
Not
give
weird.
a lot of young kids experiences.
because if this is true, and Chuck Norris did do this, and then he was like, someday he's gonna tell his friends, and nobody's gonna fucking believe him. That's what I want out of fame. I just want to fuck with kids, and so you. Damn it, dude! There's
But that
no
means
cool
you
way of
can't be
saying this.
famous.
No, you can be
You
famous.
can't be famous and be like, I'm Russell West. If you're famous, then it's the truth.
Dude, that's exactly what the Chuck Norris guy said.
You don't even know if it was him.
They're not gonna know if I was Russell West.
But the best part is that you don't even know if that dude was. He just,
But these
he just
kids
said,
aren't.
I'm
These
Chuck
kids
Norris.
15, 20 years ago aren't gonna know if I really was or not.
And you know,
it's gonna be a vague memory.
Something I heard for the first time tonight. Maybe I ignored it before. You said he was with his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So if it wasn't Chuck Norris, it was an old dude that looked like it with a young little girl.
Yeah, well, also, we were three young kids at home. He probably would have invaded, He would have taken us hostage.
Did you kind of keep an eye out and see if you went to the neighbor's house after?
No, I locked the doors and I buried it deep because I knew I was in trouble. Like, I knew I shouldn't have opened the door. That's why nobody's heard it recently. I was like, dude, I shouldn't have fucking opened the door. I knew it. Nobody's going to believe me. Chuck Norris was here.
Chuck Norris is here. I opened the door.
Yeah.
It was fucking weird.
Oh, dude, no, we really just need to ask my neighbor because that's going to be the say
That's
all. Because
that's
he
the
did
end
say
of
to me, he did say to me, he's like, hey, I'm looking for Sandy, which is my neighbor. And so if I go over there and say, hey,
How the
Chuck
fuck do you
Norris
know
ever come
Chuck
over
Norris?
here? Do you know Chuck Norris? Do you have any ever win a radio contest where Chuck Norris might show up in a shitty Oldsmobile?
Dude, the first time you told this story when we gave you shit for it, you
still giving me shit for it.
Well, I mean, you
Like-
said the same thing. You said the same thing. I need to ask my neighbor. Like, honestly, I'll join you. I'll
need to do
I'll
it.
do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
myself.
yeah.
I'll
No.
say, hey, I'll walk to that door without you and say, have you ever
Dude,
had
put on
anything
a
with
trench coat and a
with
fedora.
anything with Chuck Norris? Yeah, like
Now,
have you ever talked
Miss
with him?
Sandy?
Yeah.
Last I heard, I have it on good authority that
think
you
we
knew
should.
Mr. Norris.
I think we should.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, really, I want to know.
I think that's the nail in the coffin. And honestly, I want to know too.
I
wanna-
mean, I would hope you would want to know.
dude, because the
You
older
actually did meet Chuck Norris as a small child. That's pretty fucking cool.
That he knocked on your door accidentally.
Oh, now it's cool if it's real.
Well, no, if it's real,
Yeah.
if it's real.
You just
And Chuck Norris's
No one's gonna
heyday,
believe
he
it.
accidentally knocked on your door and said, "You know who I am."
Yeah.
I mean, the only problem
I-
is it seems unrealistic.
Now, if you would have said Brad Pitt, I would have believed it.
I wouldn't have believed that.
And the
because
reason
he'd why would he be on that
he's
side of
from
town?
here.
That's
He's on the
yeah,
wrong side of
that-
town.
He's from here.
Wrong side of
Because
town.
of that, that's a little more believable.
Yeah, he literally grew up here.
Oh, you guys don't know anything about meeting celebrities' kids. you guys are way out of your element here. I'm telling you, it happened.
I believe the story happened.
I believe you believe it.
Oh, no, not right now.
Oh,
Now, if we go talk to Sandy and she's like, yeah, Chuck Norris is actually a lifelong friend of mine.
it's not
And
even
blah,
that.
blah, blah, then I'm like, okay, cool.
I seem to remember it was something about a radio contest. Also, so that part, but she worked at a radio.
Where you win a shitty Oldsmobile that he drives.
Here you go.
There you go, Sandy.
Fucking good luck. I'd change the oil in this thing.
By the way, I need you to drop me back off at the airport.
Actually, it has to be in this car too.
Yeah, and here's my daughter just randomly.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be here.
It's Betsy Norris.
Yeah, that happened though. I don't know. Yeah.
And then Chuck says, "Hey, you know they filmed a river runs through it right on this street."
I knew it.
I knew it all along.
Damn, that's a good episode.
Yeah, it was. Started off pretty intense.
We're about 2 hours in, so I think that's a doozy. We'll end it on. I'll ask this week. I'll go. I'll put in.
Will you really though? Promise. Will
I
you
don't
walk
promise
to your?
anything.
Will you walk to the neighbors and do it so the next episode?
I will. I
you
will
have an answer.
Yeah. I've actually got some stuff. I know I don't have it coming there, so that's. I'll make time. I'll make time to go over see my mom and
You know, it'd be
ask
great
Sandy.
if you knocked on the door and maybe like their grandkids were there. And
Oh,
they
Chuck
thought,
Norris opened the door.
They thought you were someone famous.
Yeah, I actually got the wrong address.
Russell already, for some reason, thinks he's famous.
Well, when did I say that?
He expected us to pull out red carpets when he came to my restaurant.
No, I did not.
Oh.
He did.
Oh.
He did.
No, Russell told me that. Russell told me that.
Well, also I did kind of expect that, but that's aside the point. I expect a little fanfare, a little pomp and circumstance.
Everyone knew who you were.
It's good. I like to create a buzz.
That's pretty good, though.
I like to
that's
create
pretty
a
good
buzz.
if everyone knows who you are. You know,
It's just. I'm
That's
just.
why I gave you the best server,
Oh, you did. You did that. You
Yeah.
coordinated that. He
Who
was
it?
good. He
Who was the
good.
server?
Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping it was a girl's name, like someone real nice.
No, he only hires hot guys.
Yeah. Hot men.
Yeah, steamy boys. is all he hires.
Easily take millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I hire those guys.
I hire the kind of guys that let me suck their dick for $1 million.
Hey, listen, we need to hire some more meatballs.
Yeah. Hey, we're a little short of meatballs. Yeah, the Brunos need a little Lagani. Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing, but
I don't even. No, I don't think that's.
you
You know what? No.
Hey, look, it's cool. I don't care. Did you see? I mean,
Also, what I was gonna say too before the show is over.
I'm not going to be the new Dimitri. I'm just going to stay on my ground right now.
So since you guys started doing like the movie episodes,
Yeah.
what would you think about doing a board game episode?
Oh, fuck, dude.
I like the idea of
Because
that.
I have a lot of board games at the house.
I like the
They're
idea of
pretty
that.
intense.
What would be the first one?
Probably either Clank or like Mission Red Planet.
What are these?
Or,
Dude, how many? You must have a lot of board games.
Wingspan.
Those are B-listers.
yeah, they're all really good board games.
We should play Traders of Catan.
I like the board. Like I just thinking about this off the bat.
I just don't know
that
how
sounds
we could
fun.
pan it because
It sounds fun. If you had a camera on the
Dude,
board,
it would have to be
go
right
down.
here, and
Yeah.
then
Camera
I
right
could
on the
set
board.
something straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that.
I like the idea of that.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Something
I
different,
agree.
Too.
Yeah, Settlers of Catan is actually what I was thinking of now.
Yeah.
Catan's fun, but
I like the idea.
Investment. Yeah, what's that Apollo game? I've been seeing that a lot You can. It's like your mission to the moon kind of thing.
Apollo 13.
That one didn't turn out so well.
Yeah, I have board games at the house.
I'd be interested in that. I think that would be fun.
That might be fun.
Dude, we could have a little scoreboard in the corner like a football game.
Yeah.
Like they keep score. Dude, who's winning. Dude, there really is no like video board game. Like,
You know, and you could do some serious ones, like some realistic ones too. And I feel like at the same time, you could go to like thrift stores, like STD Flea Market, and find some old school weird
we
ones.
should play some little tiddlywinks.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
What would be even like more interesting, because it's completely the opposite of a podcast, because in any of the normal board games I have, we can talk and blah, blah, blah. But there's a game that we just bought.
Silent game?
And you literally cannot talk about the game the whole entire time.
Ooh, called Twister.
So we would be playing a game on a podcast.
Damn.
When we cannot
talk. Is it like a card game?
Yeah.
So if we had enough cameras to where everyone could see, like there's on top of it,
almost like the World
Yeah.
Poker Tour,
everyone
where
could
you
see
lift
the
your cards up.
You could still pan back and forth.
Oh, I like
But
that.
we just have to turn that off, because then you can see each other's hands.
Yeah, we're all fucking each other.
Russ was like,
Dude, we got glasses on. Dude, I'd be interested in that.
I like that.
I'd
I
do a
like
board
that.
game.
yeah,
We can experiment with it at least.
yeah.
Let's
experiment a little,
guys.
Because then we could talk about like random shit, and then while we're playing a board game. Because I don't know. I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, we should do that.
That'd be fun. I mean, it's a great setup for it. Like I said,
Yeah.
I just set something up top so that everybody sees. I mean, shit, they do gaming like online gaming is a huge industry. Why
Yeah,
couldn't board
huge.
gaming?
Well, there's people that like test out board games and stuff like that on YouTube, and they actually like pretty big. So
Like new games that
yeah,
like
new games that come out
before
and stuff
they're
like
on
that.
the, yeah, that's interesting.
And they'll play them, and then that's literally all they do, and they just kind of explain
Dude,
like
I
how
love a good
how they play it.
Board games are interesting because I hate like the ideas like before I was like, let's play board game. I'm like, I don't know. But once you start playing a board game, it's awesome.
But
I'm
and that's
totally
the thing
sucked
too
in.
is like you with board games for me, like I didn't really like them. Like the only board game I would ever play is literally Monopoly.
Oh, I'm great
That was
Monopoly.
it. And it you know, that's what I grew up playing. And then like people would be like, oh, let's play, you know, like my whole entire life, man. Like people would be like, oh, you know, let's play board games, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck that, you know. But then like once I got older,
Yeah, there's
and like now board games are extremely fun to me. And I was like, dude, I've missed out on like years.
oh, dude, yeah, it's crazy.
Years of playing like newer board games that have came out and stuff like that. Like I remember, no bullshit, I remember when Catan first came out.
Oh,
And I was like, what the fuck? That's stupid.
nerds.
And then
Playing
I've
Catan.
played it now, and I'm like, okay, now there's like 12 different expansion of Catan.
Dude, they're doing board game
So-
expansion packs.
Yeah. There's like literally, there's a 3D Catan now.
Oh,
Yeah. Like, I mean, they
We like
like,
build it up.
yeah, it's like all 3D. Instead of just being like a flat layout, it's all 3D.
I did that with Legos in Monopoly one time. Ran out
Yeah.
of hotels and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about a. We had bought all the houses and hotels, and it was just me and my cousin playing. And so it was like every roll of the hand, you were either bankrupt.
dude, I want to get into a board game.
Yeah.
I want to have a
that's the thing is, like,
serious night on a board.
What's the first one you think you pull?
I think probably Clank. Because number
What's
one,
Clank? I've never heard of
easy.
it.
It's easy to explain. And number two, it's insanely fucking fun because basically you're in like a castle, right? And basically it's like a treasure run, pretty much. So you have cards that tell you what you're gonna do every single turn. So there's ones that have like footsteps, so like movements. So you have like movement ones. You have ones that are called clank, where you put like these little cubes that are your color into the clank spot. Then there's other, like you're basically building a deck while you're playing this, and then you're trying to go down and get treasure and then leave the building and then set off the dragon attacks, basically.
It reminds
Like
me.
it
Of
literally
Don't
sets
Wake
off,
Daddy.
Reminds
like
me
it
of-
sets off dragon attacks, and like you pull the dice or you pull the cubes out of the bag, and if it's one of your cubes, then you take a damage. You can only take 10 damage the whole entire time.
Ooh.
But we've played it before, and you know, like Dimitri loves that game, and it's one of those things where it's like Dimitri would go down and get like the cheapest fucking artifact or whatever, and then he would run out because he would try to get out of there as soon as possible and
Grab the
start
first
the
thing he saw
dragon
and ran
attacks, and then to try to kill us all. It never worked.
But he still
Because
kept
we would
doing
make it out. We'd make it out with something that cost one more than what he had.
Damn.
So it's like, I mean, it's just fun, man, because you go down and then you're all trying to like gather treasure and stuff like that and get the fuck out, basically, without dying. So
like a
it's
Tomb Raider,
super,
huh?
super easy to explain to people, and it's really fun to play it.
I'm
And then
I'm
there's,
totally
like-
down for a board game episode.
And-
I'm sold.
Yeah. And then
Sounds
there's,
like a new podcast to me.
Like I said, there's like the
Board Busters.
There's like the
BORED.
the game that we just bought where you can't talk the whole entire game. It's like that. I haven't even played it yet.
Oh, we
But
should
it's
do
one of those
first
things
off.
where it's like, we just bought it today. Me and Charlie just bought it. And, but then there's like another game that we have. It's called Wingspan. So when I was asking my friend that, has worked at Metagame since I was a little kid, I said, what board game should I buy next? And he's like, oh, do we have Wingspan there? And I was like, yeah. I was like, that game looks stupid as fuck. Because there's literally a bird on the front of it. Like, he's like, no. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, you need to buy this game. And I was like, why? Why? It looks fucking stupid. You flip it over on the back, you see what the board game, like what it looks like, and you're like, it looks dumb, right? So I was like, no, I don't want to buy that shit. And he's like, dude, you need to buy that game. Number one, because it's really hard to get a hold of. So that
Rare.
game only does a limited production, and they would get six copies of it every 6 months, and it would sell out instantly.
And you got your hands on this?
Yeah.
thing?
So I bought it. I was like, fuck it,
So
I'll
you're
buy
big
it.
into
Whatever.
board games.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
It sounds like there needs to be a
So-
board game deal going on here.
Yeah.
we bought it and we took it home and we played it. It's super easy to like know what you're doing, and basically all you're doing is building like a bird army. Basically, is what you're doing.
All right.
Seriously,
All right.
that's literally all you're doing. Is like there's like literally 500. There's 500 different birds, and they all do different things.
It's like
And
Pokemon
I was like, what
or
the
what?
fuck?
What is this?
No,
Angry Birds.
no, like you're literally like you have to like feed your birds.
You do this all
and
without
all
talking?
this shit. No. This is the one you could talk about.
Oh, this is birds
like you're
of
like
war. Yeah.
Putting eggs on birds and things like that to like because they can hold so many eggs or whatever. But it's like it sounds stupid, but once we started playing it, I was like, damn, this is actually fun. And all of us were like, holy shit, this is actually
All
fun.
right.
But it's just like there's so many different types of board games.
Yeah,
like
let's fucking
there's
do
one
it.
the one
Yeah,
oh the one that I think you guys would really enjoy for the first one is called
Would you suck a dick for $1 million?
it's like Professor or something in the Citadel of Time. So basically
Time travelers.
that one's super easy. Like the board is a haunted house pretty much, and there's a professor.
Pretty wacky.
So one person plays for the professor, like you
Like
play for
like
the
Among
professor.
Us, like you're behind the scenes kind of.
pretty much.
Okay.
But you're basically trying to go in and get everything out of the haunted house, like as a group. So all of us would be trying to go into the house
Like
and
Horcruxes or something.
pretty much
Ooh.
type of ordeal. So you're trying to go into the house, but the thing is with the professor, you roll for him, and if he goes into the same room as you, which there's no telling what room he's going to go into. So if he is in the same room as you, you get kicked out of the house. So then you have to go back in and try to fucking do this shit again. And then at the same time, like you're trying to open doors and all these things, like those are all movements that you have to do. Is like open the door, go and get this treasure chest, blah, blah, do all these things while trying to avoid the professor. Because every time
Sounds
Dude,
like
sounds like my college experience.
exactly. Like every time the professor goes into the room that you're in, you put the treasure back.
you got to take your pants
Yeah,
down.
and then you get fucking kicked out. Like it's a fun board game.
Dude, board games have changed. Like
Yeah,
this is
like-
yeah. Let's do it. Let's
Completely
do it.
different.
Let's
It's not
play it.
Monopoly.
I'm all for
Yeah,
it.
let's
Yeah,
play it.
dude,
Let's do a board game.
I love it.
Yeah,
Monopoly
I'm up
rules.
for it.
All right, let's call her there. We're about 30 seconds away from 2 hours. We
It's a
did
good one.
good. 30
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
of that was the ball game, but
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
can't
history.
walk away from that.
Dude, I'm glad we had that recorded
Can't
though,
walk away
because
from
we have our live reaction to one of the best football games I've ever fucking seen.
hey, before you end it too, upcoming chili cook-off.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be Russell's going to have a whole booth, and also Taylor over here, basically, doing the main work of making something good to eat. So.
Fuck that, we're all doing it.
Yeah, I'll help. But
Yeah, I
just,
could chili
just
up.
to put it on
be
the
the
end.
main component.
Yeah, put it on the end of this. Like, come to the chili cook-off.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
See us there, mostly facts. General media.